Good evening and welcome to The Business Coach, a show in which you out to help entrepreneurs better their businesses. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight we have quite an interesting show lined up because we're going to be exploring everything leadership. How can you, a leader leading your enterprise, how can you invest within your team for our return? But before I get to start off, or rather introduce my guest, here's a brief bio of my guest, Achola.
Achola is the founder and executive director of Value Connect Management Consultancy Limited. She's also a certified John Maxwell trainer, coach, and speaker. Prior to her entrepreneurial journey, she has onboarded over 2 decades experience in corporate, both locally and internationally.
Masi, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Ian.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. Honor and a pleasure.
I love your office. It looks so spunky.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is the office of COVID time.
I can say it. And let me just start off. Just from listening through your bio, you've had quite a stellar career in the corporate world. So maybe you could just share with us maybe some of the lessons you've learned, because it's over 2 decades in the corporate world, having so many different positions. What are some of the insights, or rather some of the lessons you've garnered from your experience in the corporate?
Thank you so much, Ian. Yeah, as you've mentioned, through my career spanning over 2 decades, one of the things you'll notice is I started at the bottom of the rung and rose up through the ladder. And one of the things that kept me going was, one, to be diligent in my work, to do the best and to perform to the best of my ability. I looked for challenges as I went along, and I made sure that I involved my team members. I was a team player, and that is what propelled me all the way to the top. So I can say that the lessons that I learned, it also it was like having building blocks, from the foundation and one block building onto another. So that's what kept me going and made me have such a spanning career in the corporate world.
And maybe from your experience, rather how you went about is that you're in the corporate now, you came into business. How important is it for one to garner experience, mostly in the corporate world, coming to business? How has it been for you, maybe from your experience?
Good question, Ian. I know it's not everybody who is an entrepreneur or is in business has gone through the corporate world. I say each to their own. But specifically for me, what I've found that has been valuable is that all the lessons I learned, if you notice in my career, I worked practically in every arm of the organization, from communication to marketing to sales and on to general management. Probably the only thing I never did actively was HR. But all these things have helped me now as an entrepreneur, because I'm able to understand how an organization operates, not just for myself, but even for the clients that I work with and deal with. So I'm not giving them something theoretical. It's something I have practiced. It's something I have been through, and having been in that corporate space, I'm able to work with them. Even for entrepreneurs that I work with, startups, I'm able to help them structure and build up their systems and processes so that whatever it is that they're desiring to deliver will be one that they can do in an efficient and a cost-effective way.
And just going through your profile, your company, Value Connect Management Consultancy, one of the interesting aspects about your profile is that you're an accredited John Maxwell coach trainer. What exactly informed this? What's the need for one to be accredited, considering you already have all this experience?
Again, Ian, that's a good question. What informed my joining the John Maxwell team? I rose out of a need that first I saw for myself. I've been one who has invested in personal development. My employers along the way did invest in me, but even after I left employment or on my own, I did it for myself. And so when I started my business back in 2013, which was about promoting export companies to export markets, I found that a lot of the clients I was handling were lacking in terms of what we call soft skills, leadership, customer handling, how to negotiate, how to deal with investors and potential partners. And I was looking for a way I help them beyond giving them my own experience, beyond sharing my own story. So I was looking for instance, if I came to you, Ian, and you were having such a gap in your organization, I was looking, how can I help you and give you with resources that can do so? So that was my encounter with the John Maxwell team. And I found them to be quite resourceful. As an executive director in the John Maxwell team, it means that I'm literally standing on the shoulders of John Maxwell himself.
From your experience learning under him and being an executive director, what are some of the highlight leadership lessons you can actually get to share about entrepreneurs during this period of time?
Okay. What it is really about some of the lessons that you can get for entrepreneurs, especially during this season, is that it's about really valuing people. You know, most organizations, in fact, not most, every organization is entirely dependent on its people, starting with the entrepreneur himself or the CEO or the MD, as it were. And people follow who they see to be giving them. John Maxwell himself said, everything rises and falls on leadership. So if the leader is not getting it right, then it means already there will be a blockage there. If the leader is here, his organization can only get here. So the leader has to keep growing so that the organization can also follow. So it's all about first putting people in front of you. There's actually something I call the 3 tenets of this putting people first. And the first one I say is living up to your purpose is one of the key things that an entrepreneur needs to be very conscious about. And in this season especially, if you can understand your purpose, it means you will still have the energy to keep going despite all the challenges that we're facing. The second thing is about learning. And learning really, Ian, means that you as a leader need to keep improving yourself, but also to recognize that you are not the sole proprietor of knowledge about your business. The people in your team, some probably know more than you do. And then as you keep going, you find that as you unlearn, you learn, and then you have to keep relearning, because some things, the more you do them, the more you repeat them, the more helpful they become. And then there's the third aspect I said of leading. And leading basically is recognizing that leadership is not about a position. It's not about a title.
Yeah.
You are the one who makes leadership, not leadership making you because of the position or title that you hold. So those are key things that any entrepreneur needs to have in themselves, needs to keep on building upon, and this is where the success for their business will come from. In fact, John normally says in every business entrepreneur, you know, most of us spend time working on the product, on the service.
Yeah.
John tells us you should spend 87% investment on your people.
Yeah. Interesting.
And 13% on your product or service. Because if your people get it right, the product, the service will add up. You cannot discount that.
What are some of the tips you can actually give to any person watching this on how exactly to unlearn? Because I think as human beings and as adults, we are enshrined to a particular way, but it has been disrupted. And for some, you've seen it taking them off business because of failure to unlearn. How important is it for one to unlearn, in brief?
Well, unlearning first and foremost, you have to be intentional. Mm-hmm. It will not happen by itself. So you have to prescribe, be self-aware, you understand. As a business, this is how we need to pivot. In fact, I can give you an acronym. I know most of us are tired of hearing this word pivot. Yeah. But I want to give an acronym for this pivot that's going to help the business to turn around. The P stands for pressing on.
All right.
All
right.
Keep on being persistent. Remember, if you have your purpose, you know where you're going.
All right.
The I is about innovation.
All
now,
right.
if you're innovative, it will be very easy to understand how things have changed.
All right.
Consumers are now buying online. Are you there?
All right.
That gives the V. Have you virtualized, have you gone virtual in your business handling?
All right.
Can your consumers find you there?
All right.
And the O is keeping on in terms of being open. It's the time to collaborate.
All right.
You have to unlearn these days of operating solo and working by yourself has to end.
All right.
Time for collaboration is now. And we've had many examples of where that is happening.
All right.
And then the T is time to test and review the results that you're working on. Track them. Make sure you know, because if you're not tracking, it will be very difficult to figure out what is the part that you need to unlearn and what is the part that you need to fix. So just by using that pivot word that we have had it over and over again, we're tired of it, that can be a good starting point for anyone who needs to unlearn something that's not working for their business and turn it around so that they're able to gain from it.
All right. On that particular note, you're going to take a short commercial break, but don't touch that dial, because after the break, you're going still to explore different ways as entrepreneurs you can learn toward leadership and just ensuring that you steer your company through this period of time. So I'll see you after the break.